Good day, gentlemen. Today I want to talk to you about regulating your own mental state of origin, regulating your emotions in toxic and non-toxic relationships so that you don't allow yourself to fall into the frame of your significant other, your woman. If she's looking at you, looking down on you and trying to make you feel like a piece of shit, you can keep your self-worth, your self-confidence by knowing who you are. And I want to talk to you gentlemen about really instilling this sense of self-worth, self-confidence within yourself so that you're not ruined through a relationship. All right, so I'm coming at you gentlemen from South Korea here. And look, I've been in quite a lot of relationships. I've been with countless number of women, gentlemen, from all around the world. And, you know, it just tends to be the case that the more beautiful the woman is, the more likely it is that she's toxic or she's crazy, right? And you can be on your game in every sense, in every form of the word, but it doesn't mean that you won't still have issues, right? If you stay with that woman and she is toxic, you know, that could, you could be the one that ends up reaping the repercussions of that, right? So what I want to talk to you about is a couple of things. One second, gentlemen. A couple of things, but let me look at my notes here. See, okay, so the toxic relationship dynamics almost always begin in childhood, right? You know, I can think of my own mother, God bless her heart. I think she did the best she could, but she definitely messed up in a lot of ways, and I had abandonment trauma myself. There were times when, you know, she should have had my back. Instead, she betrayed me. And then, you know, that's still, that abandonment trauma, it still sticks with me today. So I'm susceptible to such a thing in a relationship, or I'm also susceptible to seeking out a relationship to heal those past traumas. Ideally, gentlemen, we want to heal from our past traumas in childhood so that we're not attracted to nor attracting what's familiar, but rather what's healthy for us. And I got to say, I'm still in the process of that myself. I still find myself being attracted to women that are not necessarily in my best interest, right? That may be toxic for me or may seem something, feel familiar to my past, right? And that's not necessarily to my benefit, not necessarily for my good, right? So just being aware, gentlemen, of the dynamic that you had with your mother, right? And then whatever traumas there were in childhood, right? Realizing what those dynamics were and realizing that you are susceptible to being attracted to the same type of woman, to a woman who has those same type of tendencies, right? Being aware of that, that is really the first step to overcoming that. Just being aware that that's where your attraction is normally or naturally lending itself. However, you know, you can overcome that through mantra, through meditation, and through reprogramming of the subconscious mind, which I'll talk to you about, gentlemen, in this video here as well. All right. So, you know, it's a sad truth, but okay, us men, we like beautiful women, right? It may not always be in your best interest to go after the absolute hottest and finest woman that you can get. Now, might be the best sex, or it may not, right? But chances are you are going to suffer, and you are more likely to be in a toxic relationship if the girl is absolutely fine. You know, if she's the most beautiful girl in the world, that's the likelihood. The more beautiful the girl is, tends to be the more crazy they are, tends to be the more entitled they are. And that's just, and nothing against them, you know, it's just the way that life has been for them. You know, I have a daughter myself, and, you know, I have a hard time telling her no myself. I do, but it's hard. And, you know, more beautiful a woman is, when she moves through life, she's going to have had less and less men ever tell her no for anything. And that idea of boundaries and so forth is something that most of these more beautiful women, they don't really I'm not going to say they don't respect it, but they have a hard time. They have a hard time with it because they're not used to it. They take healthy. What oftentimes happens, and I've heard Jordan Peterson talk about this, but what oftentimes happens is you may be leading as a man with in a healthy way, a healthy leadership, and even healthy boundaries and so forth. But the woman will take that as abusive. And I think, like Jordan Peterson has talked about, a lot of women these days have a difficulty deciphering between abusive behavior and healthy male leadership. And that could be because they've not seen it in their own life, perhaps, right? But that's just a reality of the world that we live in these days, right? So just know that, gentlemen, that if you are with a beautiful woman, you are more likely to have to endure more emotional abuse, per se, more toxicity. It's on par, it is going to be more difficult. Not necessarily, but generally it is the case, all right? So, how is it that let's just say this, gentlemen, okay? Take myself, for instance, right? A lot of women these days, they are somewhat toxic, okay? How can you move through life, and how can you have a healthy state of being, even if you may, let's say, find yourself in a relationship that might be a little bit toxic, maybe it's very toxic, maybe you yourself as a man, you still have things to work on within yourself, and maybe you're also adding to that toxicity to some degree. But let's say you find yourself in a toxic relationship, and let's say you're looking at yourself, you're examining yourself, you're doing the best you can as a man, but you're still faced with some of that toxicity, right? Now, first off, gentlemen, you can absolutely walk away. Now, it's not always easy, and it may not be the right answer. I encourage it, though. If you're enduring emotional abuse on a regular basis, and it's being overdone, and it's been a consistent pattern, and you feel you're showing up in the relationship, you've truly examined yourself, gentlemen, and you're showing up in the relationship with let's say, with sincerity, and you're coming from a place of care and compassion, yet you're still being treated subpar, you're still being treated in a toxic way, absolutely okay to go. You can disappear. You don't have to say another word. You can disappear, right? And oftentimes, I'll just tell you, gentlemen, making these relationship dynamics work tends to be, we want to give our partner the benefit of the doubt, have a conversation with them and so forth, but the most powerful tool you have, gentlemen, is walking away, okay? And the power of silence. You are saying something when you say nothing at all. That's actually one of the most powerful, maybe the most powerful statements you can have as a man, is to say nothing. Perhaps only then is your partner able to reflect on their behavior, right? If you're talking to them, maybe that's exactly what they want. Maybe they want to keep you engaged. Maybe they want to keep you off your mission, like this right here. This video almost didn't happen today, gentlemen. Yeah, it's every 3-4 days. God bless my heart, right? It's every 3, 4, 5, 6 days. The discard starts, right? The devaluing starts. The love bombing is there. Everything's great. Sex is great. All this love, and then the devaluing, and then the discarding, right? Perhaps the best thing you can do, gentlemen, is to just create space. Now, I myself, I'm financially free. We can travel around with the family, with my girl. And one of the issues is that we have so much time together. So make sure that you are planning out your life, you're scheduling your life in a way that you are purposely taking time away from your significant other. Most of you gentlemen are working. You got 9-to-5 jobs, perhaps. Maybe not. Hopefully not on this channel. I'll nothing against a 9-to-5 job, gentlemen. But hopefully I also attract a lot of entrepreneurs as well. People that are maybe traveling entrepreneurs as I am. But the point is that it's too much time with your significant other lends itself to it lends itself to a stifled energy where you can develop some sort of grudge. Just the energy doesn't flow, right? You need space in a relationship. And, I think it's no wonder that so many relationships in the past lasted longer with the man working 9 to 5. I know most people aren't spending all their hours together, but I'll just say this, and my point is this, is do not spend too much time with your significant other. Make a point, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you have the option to be with your family or with your wife, your girl, 24 hours a day, don't do it. Be sure that you spend at least a couple hours away every day, and ideally much more than that. Ideally 4 to 8 hours a day or more away, so that when you come home, the time is richer. She's more likely to appreciate your presence. However, you can't do that, gentlemen, if you're an entrepreneur and she knows you have nothing scheduled, right? You can't, it's not as easy to just say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym now. Or no, you absolutely can do that, and you should. However, it's much more powerful if you have a schedule, if you give yourself a schedule, and you can share that with her, and she already knows what you're up to, that you're going to be busy, etc., etc. Now, you might just be at a cafe part of the time catching up on YouTube videos yourself, or working on some craft, or learning something. Or you might just be taking some time for yourself. You might be at the gym. You might be hanging out with your friends or whatever. However, it's important that you do that. Too much time together is not good. Okay? All right. Let's see here. The other thing is, gentlemen, a lot of these toxic women, they will try to have you to believe that their unhappiness, right, their discontent with life is your issue, your responsibility, and something for you to deal with. Now, you don't have to tell them, hey, it ain't my fault, right? You don't have to be rude, but you don't have to spend extra time on them either, okay? You can be loving, you can be caring, you can be decent with them, right? You can be a little bit affectionate, right? However, don't fall into the trap of, what can I do, baby? Baby, what did I do? What did I do? Don't fall into that. You maintain respect. You can be somewhat loving. However, it's okay for you to take your time, and don't make her problem your problem. She has her responsibility. We as human beings, we're all responsible for our emotional state, okay? Guys, real quick, I want to show you where I'm at here. I'm here in Seoul, Korea, just outside of Seoul, and this right here is an archery stadium. I think this is an Olympic archery stadium here where they practice archery or whatnot. It's a giant field here, and there's an Olympic bike track over here and all kinds of stuff. It's a pretty interesting place. Just wanted to show you that backdrop just super quick as the sun's going down there behind me. All right, where was I at there? Yeah, it's not your responsibility, gentlemen, what she's going through. Now you can guide your woman to be to exercise daily, right? To meditate, to read daily, right? But ultimately it's up to them, right? They have to take charge of their life as well. But you can lead your woman, gentlemen. Go outside in the morning, do some physical exercise. Goes a long way, okay? And I'm telling you that as I'm telling myself that, right? I know, also just being regulated, having somewhat of a schedule. So, let's say I go out late, and then I don't want to wake up till 9, 10, 11 o'clock, but let's say my girls are all waking up at 8, right? Because I've been out late. Well, the balance is going to be off. The harmony in the home is going to be off. So you got to take responsibility for that as a man, right? And, just being on somewhat of a regulative schedule, right? I think can also keep the harmony in the home as well. All right, for what it's worth, gentlemen. And that really more applies to, that applies more to couples that are living together, even more to, families, when you got young children and so forth, right? All right. Back to the power of silence, right? There's so much there for yourself as well, okay? For one, you say a lot when you say nothing. When you create space, you get out of the toxic environment. That person, if you're not communicating, for 3 hours, 3 days, whatever it might be, that person has an opportunity to reflect, right? But also, you sitting in your silence and not giving into that drama and go in the back and forth trying to educate your partner or trying to show them what you were trying to say. Oftentimes, gentlemen, these women, they just want your attention. They'll lure you into a dramatic argument where they're not trying to understand many times, okay? They're not trying to come to a resolution. Men and women are different in that sense, you know. I think oftentimes us men, we're looking for solutions. We're trying to solve problems. And oftentimes I think, you know, in toxic relationships, unfortunately that's what I'm talking about, and then I'm in somewhat of a toxic relationship myself. God bless my heart. But when we're in somewhat of a toxic relationship, gentlemen, it's totally necessary for us to take space to ourselves so that we don't get caught up in that toxic dynamic going back and forth. Because what are we doing there? We're wasting our energy. What was I doing today for 2-3 hours? Dumb me, right? I was entertaining her drama. Bless her heart. Look, I was entertaining her drama, okay? And I could have accomplished more. I could have made some more YouTube videos for you guys. I could have made some music. I could have done more lifts at the gym. I could have helped a friend, okay? I could have been grinding on my business, right? I could have done, took my business to another level in some way, right? So be wise. Don't entertain drama, gentlemen. You may once or twice. When you realize that there's that dynamic going on where you feel that she wants the drama, she wants the crazy making, silence, gentlemen. Silence. Keep your energy for yourself. When you speak, you're losing energy, gentlemen. You're giving your energy. Don't give your energy to crazy making, okay? Another thing, gentlemen, try this. Your girl's toxic, this, that, or the other. Go celibate. No sex for you, girl. All right? If a woman's not treating you with respect, sex might be amazing, right? Try celibacy. Keep your energy for yourself. Try it. You may realize you don't need that from her. You don't need that, right? You may realize it's not really serving you, okay? When we give of our seed, we're also losing energy. Just saying, whether she's toxic or she's not toxic, okay? It may be a very wise practice to be had. I'll do a separate video on that. But the white tantric yoga of maintaining your seed, of keeping your seed, right? Very, very powerful, gentlemen. You don't have to engage in that, or even if you do, you don't have to give away your seed. It's very powerful, gentlemen. Very, very powerful. Life is rich. That sexual energy, you can bring it up right here into your third eye, fill your entire body. You can heal the body, transform your body into a masculine frame, make $1 million, do whatever else, but you can transform that energy, gentlemen. Don't necessarily give it to your woman. All right, that's a separate video though, okay? That's on celibacy and seed retention, right? All right, talked about the power of silence. That space, gentlemen, that's where your peace is. That's where your wisdom is. That's where your self-love is, gentlemen. Know who you are. Don't let someone else define you, right? Don't buy into the lies, someone trying to make you believe you're a piece of shit when you're not, when you're a good, sincere person, okay? All right. All right, other thing, gentlemen, we'll talk about is the breath. In through the nose. You got 3 lung chambers, right? You got the top chamber here, you've got the mid chamber, and you've got the lower chamber. What you want to do is, if you watch a baby breathing, right? The baby breathes in through their stomach, right? So you first, when you're breathing in, you first fill in this bottom chamber. The stomach should expand, right? So hand on the stomach, and then mid, and then the chest expands after. Hold a couple seconds. It's called sound breathing, when you can hear all your oxygen coming from your nose. It's a yogic breath, okay? But breathing in through the stomach, that will not feel normal at first. That'll feel a bit straining. It'll be a bit tough. But with some training, doing this for 5, 6, 7 days, maybe a week or two, it gets to be nothing, and it's no effort. Now, something about the breath, gentlemen. When we speed up our breath, and when we get anxious, or when we get upset, when we get frustrated or angry, our breath shortens, right? We start breathing more shallowly. We don't breathe in deeply, right? Our blood pressure goes up. You can actually now let's say you're in an argument with your girl. What can you do? You're in an argument with someone, you're upset. What can you do? You can purposely take control of your breath. You can do this in cells as well. You can purposely take control of your breath, take a deep breath in through the nose. You'll notice a lot of speakers, Robin Sharma, for instance, he does this all the time. He'll be in interviews, he'll take a deep breath in through the nose, calms your mind, helps you to slow your speech, and helps you to speak with emphasis and direction, right? Tonality that has more definiteness to it, less shallowness to it. But aside from that, it helps you to regulate your mood, okay? It helps you to regulate your energetic state, okay? So you can stay calm, so you can stay at peace, so you can be harmonious within yourself, so you can stay in that state of love for yourself, for the whole, because that's the most ideal state to reside in, gentlemen. All right. The subconscious. Now, this is the most challenging and the most difficult, and this is not an easy thing to do. Now, you can have an impact on your subconscious mind through things like hypnosis and so forth, where people put you into a subconscious state in hypnosis, and you can reprogram your subconscious that way. I have little experience with it, but I do have some experience with it. I cannot really say how powerful it is. I really do not know. Now, I've had little experience with it though, okay? But I have had some. So I think there is something there. I'll say that. I think there's definitely something there. However, you can also do this through meditation, right? Meditation is where the conscious and the subconscious bridge, right? Now, let me slow down for a second. Our subconscious mind and our subconscious programs, right? That's what runs 99% of our life. Our habitual programs, our habitual ways of reacting and interacting, okay? These programs, they're all subconscious programs that were built up over time when we were young, right? And then we still carry them out today, such as what we find attractive in a partner, what we allow in a partner, how we react to certain behaviors, etc., etc. Maybe we give away our power and we start pining for confirmation from our significant other, when they're actually abusing us, right? Maybe our mothers did the same thing, okay? What we need to do, we need to take a step back and realize we can give our own self-worth. We have our own self-worth. We have our own mental point of origin, right? To remember that and go back to that and remember that, right? Come back to a place of peace. But back to meditation, gentlemen. The subconscious, okay, where we all operate from for the most part, and we have the conscious, which is where we're in real time, where we're more present and we're conscious, right? The conscious and the subconscious come together at that point of meditation. It's basically the point where you're about to fall asleep, but you haven't fallen asleep yet, and you're about to wake up, but you haven't woken up yet. It's like right in between dream state and waking state. That's where the subconscious and the conscious bridge together, right? And that harmonious connection can be had in that place of meditation, gentlemen. Now, when you're in this place of meditation, one gentleman talks about this online who is the master of this, and that is a Dr. Joe Dispenza, okay? But when you're in that place of meditation, whatever you begin to program your mind with will become your new program and can override old programs, okay? So I'm going to leave you, gentlemen, with one mantra that you can say to yourself. I'm going to promise you this, though. When you start this, it's going to feel really unnatural. It might feel really bizarre, and it may, your conscious mind and even your subconscious mind are going to push back against this. Mine did. However, there's something very powerful in this, all right? Now, gentlemen, I'm going to try to bring this full circle here, okay? When you're in a toxic relationship or you have a toxic dynamic, right? And let's say you're discarded or someone's trying to bring you down, right? Oftentimes, maybe we keep seeking approval from that person, right? However, what if you could give that approval to yourself? Or what if your subconscious mind was programmed so strongly of a self-worth and a self-belief that no one could knock you off your center? You couldn't be knocked off your mental point of origin, and you knew who you were, gentlemen, and you remembered who you were in every waking moment, gentlemen. I believe that so much of what we're after, right, and the toxic dynamic of what we had when we were young, okay, is a sense of being loved. We want to be loved, right? We want to be accepted. We wanted to be accepted by our parents, by our mothers, right? So, how can we bridge that gap if we weren't given all the love that we necessarily deserved or wanted when we were young? And maybe we have a toxic fracture. We have a fracture from when we were young, right? How can we bridge that gap? What is it that we really wanted when we were children? Well, we wanted love, right? So what if you were to program your mind with that love that you were seeking? I am love. I am loved. I am love. I am loved. I am love. I am loved. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. Feel it as well. Okay, you want to feel whatever affirmations you are speaking, or even if you're mentally saying them to yourself, you want to feel them to the greatest depth that you're able to. Now, I promise you, as I mentioned before, when you begin doing this in the beginning, it's really going to feel like, I'm not loved. I'm not loved. You may think that, right? And it may not feel right. It may not feel true, okay? It may not feel true. However, I'll just tell you this, that repetition is one of the greatest ways to impact the subconscious mind. So you might say it the first 10, 20, 30 times, and it might not be really ringing true. But as you keep on with this mantra, gentlemen, if you care to try it, I'm telling you, it's very powerful. You might be able to see me as I say this to myself and how my frequency seems to be raising even here in this video. Maybe you can see that. I can feel it. But as you do this, and as I've done this in the past, it doesn't start off as something that rings true, but the more you say it, the more you say it, the more you start to impact through repetition the subconscious mind, and the more that becomes true for you, and you become a vessel of love. I am love. I am love. And then, gentlemen, anyone can try to knock you off your center. And you may be knocked off your center, but if you remember this and you come back to it, you'll be untouchable. All right? Come back to this. Write it down somewhere. I am love. Put it right there near your computer. Say it to yourself 100,000 times a day. It'll reprogram your subconscious mind, and you'll stop pining after that approval of someone who's not treating you well, someone who may be abusing you, emotionally abusing you. You'll stop pining after their approval. They're going to look at you differently, like, why ain't you begging anymore? I am love. I am love. I am love. Gentlemen, God bless you. I'm wishing you well. Stay strong. Stay healthy. Make the right choices. Brush your fucking teeth before you sleep. Drink water. Stay hydrated. Drop down and do a couple push-ups, 10, 20, 50. Do some jumping squats. Be active. Okay? Do the hard things. All of the rest of life gets easier. Okay? All right, gentlemen, I love you so much. Love you. God bless. And you're not alone. Stay sharp. Peace, gentlemen.